Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a repaint of this watercolor illustration from 2017. So I've been wanting to do a repaint for a while now, but I just couldn't decide when to do it or which piece to redraw. But while I was looking back through last year's Inktober illustrations, I realized how much my art has changed in only 12 months. I improved without even realizing it. So I thought now was a good time to bring back an old piece that I really loved and give it a do-over. I saw a piece that I used for one of my very first speed paint videos. Now, the video isn't on my YouTube channel since I didn't start my channel till October of 2017, but you can check it out on my Facebook page. I'll leave a link in the description. But I really loved this piece and was very happy with it at the time. I'm not saying I don't like it anymore, I still do, but I realized that there are things I can improve upon. First being the layout. The original was a very straight and rigid profile of the character, and while the composition was pretty good, it didn't have much in the way of fluidity or movement. So in order to change that, I made this piece very asymmetrical and had the camera angle behind the forest traveler, placing him in a similar location as the original. The first piece had some depth, but I wanted to push that even further, so I exaggerated the difference in tree sizes, and later on you will see that I also give the trees that are closer a slightly warmer hue than the trees that are further in. But we haven't gotten to that yet. Let's talk about what I used for the line art. I used a Speedball Hunt artist pen nib sized extra fine. The handle is by D. Leonard & Company. I like this handle better than the Speedball handle that came with the nib because it's longer and heavier, and pretty much most of Speedball nibs fit it, so I use this one most of the time. The ink I used is Higgins calligraphy ink. This was my first time using this ink, so there were a few drips and splatters, but I have to say I really like it. It's a very thin ink and feels ever so slightly oily. I would assume that it is oil-based because of this and the fact that it's waterproof, but I could be wrong. Also, this time I wanted to have him experience the strange creatures in the forest rather than be blissfully ignorant like he was in the previous one, scaring away everything with the light of his lamp. So I drew the creatures in front of him. This way he knows that there are little glowing eyes watching him curiously. And also back to the adding movement. I made all of these little mice creatures lean to one side or the other and stretch the proportion of their ears to give them a more animated appearance. I think that's pretty much all I can say about the line art. So enjoy watching the rest of the line art, and I'll catch up with you when I get to the coloring process. So now we are ready to color this thing. For this, I used my Liquitex acrylic ink, which is water-based and should go over my waterproof ink just fine. I only have 4 colors, so I had to be a little more creative with the coloring since I have such a limited range. I emphasize the values rather than the hues. It's kind of like when you shine a flashlight around the house at night and things don't really have vibrant colors like they do in the daytime, even though you can see just fine in the beam of the flashlight. My main color for this piece is a dulled down bluish purple, and I use this color to put in all the values. This shadowy creature in the background was really fun to come up with. He's like a gentle giant of the forest, kind of a mix of Totoro and the Iron Giant. I'm pretty sure I've been influenced by multiple artists here, since I seem to remember seeing similar things before, I just can't remember where. I can't be the only artist who gets really worried that when I come up with a new art idea, that I'm going to get sued by somebody I don't know who I have never seen their art before for stealing their idea or copying their art. I would say it's an irrational fear, but I know that kind of thing has happened before. Maybe I need to do a video on this. What do you think? I've wanted to do a video similar in nature for a while now, but I don't have the courage to do it since the topic can sometimes be controversial. I also want to do a video on using reference photos, when, how, and why to use them, and how to give credit, because I know it's a big topic of discussion among artists, and it's one that has many differing opinions. I want to make videos that are entertaining, but I also want to make videos that are helpful and encouraging to other artists, since those types of videos are what actually led me to start my YouTube channel in the first place. I could have stopped here, but the monochrome made it seem just a little flat, so I went back in with some super diluted inks to add hues to the foreground. I'm not gonna lie though, when I first added the green to the ferns and bushes, I thought I had ruined it. But I kept on painting since there was no going back. But like most pieces, if you keep working at them, they get past that quote-unquote ugly phase and end up better than you thought they would. This was no exception. I definitely like it so much better after I added this last layer. At this point, I did a little cleanup with some white ink and waited for some areas to dry before I continued painting with my super diluted ink. Now, the only thing I cheated on, and I hope you can forgive me, I used Turner watercolors to add highlights to my piece. I don't have any yellow ink. I actually went to my local craft store to purchase some specifically so I could finish this, but they no longer carry Liquitex ink. They have betrayed me. So I had to make do. And I could have used an alcohol marker, but I didn't want any stark lines. I wanted it to be a soft wash, like I have for the rest of my colors. So I just went with watercolor. So here's the finished piece. I am super happy with it. I want to do more repaints in the future, and maybe I will make this particular piece a yearly tradition. I don't know. What do you think? And how far back should I go with these repaints? I mean, I've been drawing my entire life, so there are a lot of embarrassing things that I've held on to over the years. Anyways, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Stay tuned for my Inktober sketchbook tour at the end of this month, and if you just can't wait, follow me on Instagram and Facebook to see all of the ink illustrations I've completed this month, along with a bunch of other art, since I upload every day. I hope you have a great day. Bye.